Hello, this is Stuart Fleming. Tonight we're going to be working with dynamic regions and passing parameter views and parameter values to them. As you can see, I have a form called main.jspx, and in that form has a button, and on that button is a set property listener, and it sets this value, and it sends the value to this bean parameter or bean field value, and it is an action. And what it does first is it writes it to here so that we know it's working, and then it will write it to the first and the second dynamic region. I have a main bean, and that main bean is referenced here as well as in the button. It's called main bean, and we're going to see the sum param1 string value here, and there's getters and setters for it. And also I'd like to mention that my main bean is a page flow scope bean. I'm not sure if it matters, but I made it that way. And when you do change the value, you have to make sure that certain values, like the buttons I have, actually refer to the page flow scope. Originally it was request flow scope, and so you do have to change that. And also probably on the main def, page def, you have to make sure that it's pointing to the right page flow scope. Okay, we have target definition, and we'll start here. I've placed this must match the parent in this because actually this value must be exactly the same as the parent, because that's what it does to make the mapping between the two. And the value, I put any name is okay. Basically, any name is okay as long as the form that you display it is exactly the same as the any name is okay value. And you can get that by going in here, and you could set it to this must match the parent too, but either way you can set it to this or any name is okay, as long as the value in the task flow is also here. So we could set that to any name is okay, or this must match the parent too. So as the value that you match here must be on the target page. We also have a second task flow, and again this must match the parent, and any name all right here is a different page flow scope, and again as long as we have it on our target 2 value, any name all right here or down here in the inspection window, that will display. So the process will be that we press the button, and the set property listener will force the value into the main bean sum param, and it will get set into this value. It will then go to first this field, and then it will go down here, and you can barely see it, any name is okay, which is the first target 1 page. Let's run this and see how it works. Okay, here's my page. I press send, and it writes it to this value, and it writes it to that value. And if we go to target 2, you see now this is target 2, same values in there. Okay, let's summarize this. And I don't know if I actually mentioned this, but if we go over to the bindings, we also have to write it here. Here again we have the this must match the parent. And here we have the bean value being set. And I can change that again. Okay, so page flow scope main bean param. This must match the parent, and copy and paste that. Then we go to our first target, and here we have this must match the parent. And then we set it to any value, any name is okay, and we put that in our page flow or our JSF. And then again we do the exact same thing for the task 2 that target 2 flow definition and then the target 2 JSSF. One thing I should mention, I had a lot of troubles at first figuring out why this was orange, and it'll probably be off the page, but if you put your current cursor on over here, it'll say reference. This must match the parent, not found. And I haven't been able to resolve why that is. It may be a bug in Jdeveloper, but it does work, and this is just something you'll have to live with. So again, we have the value going to the bean, then going to the page flow scope through this named value, and then getting set to the target flow definition page flow scope. Now, one thing that you want to remember is that each page flow scope has its own, or I'm sorry, each task flow definition has its own page flow scope. So this page flow scope is different from this page flow scope. And the page flow scope that is defined in the ADF config, and I actually don't have any value here, we'll throw that in, is unto its own. So you can't pass things directly as you would normally. The other thing to consider is that on the main page, if I click on this, you get a plus sign here. Normally, with a normal region, the value that you set in the target flow definition, task flow, is automatically populated here, and all you would do is put this in. But in this case, you actually have to put your own and refer to a bean. And that's important to realize because you don't have the ability to add input parameters. You have to go first to the target flow definition overview and put the parameters here, and this value would then automatically show when you do the main page flow definition, or the main input parameters. So it'll automatically show here. When you're doing a dynamic region, you have to add them yourself. So you don't have the option of automatically populating. So that's something to consider when you do this. All right, I hope this was helpful to you. Keep in mind that the name must match the parent is correct in the child, I will call them child target flows since they are regions of the parent. And the value that is written here, any name is okay, is specified here. I hope that is helpful to you. I hope you have a good evening. Thank you.